It's June the 5th, 1944, in the hills north of Rome. Bullets rip through the woods as American men and armor attempt to make their way back down one of the many Italian hills. Soldiers take cover behind rocks and tree trunks, firing back at an invisible enemy. They are unable to assess the threat of an enemy they can't see. And if you would like to learn how to assess threats to America's national security, you can do no better than signing up with the sponsor of today's video, Wondrium, and taking their newest course, Assessing America's National Security Threats by H.R. McMaster, former National Security Advisor to the President of the United States. Wondrium doesn't only have courses, it has a carefully curated collection of short and long-form videos, tutorials, how-tos, travelogues and documentaries that are entertaining and presented by engaging experts. We really loved the detailed history of armored vehicles with great documentary footage in Titans of War, Evolution of a Battle Tank from Wondrium's Battlefields of World War II series. Wondrium makes exploring new topics so easy. They continue to add new content every month and allow you to learn from just about anywhere, your TV, tablet, laptop or phone. If you've ever wondered about anything, Wondrium will be your new favorite place, and they're giving the viewers a great offer of a free trial. Your brain is going to love this place. Please support the channel and visit wondrium.com/yarnhub and sign up today, or click the link in the description to start your free trial. Back in the hills, navigating through the trees and fields are 4 Sherman tanks of C Company from the 752nd Tank Battalion. Within the lead Sherman, Commanding Officer Frank L Heaton Jr. attempts to make sense of the situation as a never-ending barrage of machine gun fire ricochets off his tank. He can see very little through the periscope and orders fire upon the tree line ahead. Fire! The Shermans fire their 4 75mm cannons. High explosive shells fly across the battlefield and impact under the greenery. Heaton is struggling to see whether they've hit anything or not, when suddenly an enemy shell impacts on the ground just ahead, lifting a shower of dirt into the air.
What was that? God damn it, where the hell are they?
Heaton searches desperately through the periscopes, in the trees ahead and in the fields below. Nothing. Another shell impacts nearby. He looks across the top of the hill. Nothing. Another of his commanders radios him, reporting also being under heavy fire. He checks the top of the hill again and spots a bright muzzle flash.
Top of the hill! Top of the hill!
His orders are interrupted by a shell striking the Sherman's turret with a deafening clang and making Heaton instinctively duck down. But thankfully, his armor holds. Without skipping a beat, he returns to the periscope to look for his target. Up in the hills, he sees the small shape of a Panzer IV turret. He grabs the commander's turret traverse and swings the gun round to face the target as he barks orders.
Target, top of the hill. Loader, armor piercing. Fire! Fire!
The gunner frantically raises the weapon to bear and presses a button. In a flash, the already loaded, high-explosive round is propelled out of the muzzle, streaking across the sky and detonating into the earth. It falls just short. Swiftly, the loader slams an armor-piercing shell into the breech, and another round is propelled downrange, zipping past, this time over the enemy's head. One by one, Heaton's Shermans find the target and open fire on 3 Panzer IVs firing down from the hill. Back in Heaton's tank, the gunner prepares his 3rd shot, carefully lining it up on the tiny target, and fires. The AP-HE shell flies true and strikes the enemy square in the turret. The ammunition inside cooks off, and a plume of fire rises from the hatches. Moments later, another one of the Shermans strikes down a 2nd Panzer, and the remaining German tank retreats from the position, leaving 2 wrecks behind. Spotting an opportunity, Heaton orders his driver forwards. They roll down the hill under enemy machine gun fire as Heaton continues to scan the area through the commander's cupola. He continues to support the infantry advance, firing multiple rounds through the German positions in the trees. Gradually, the ear-piercing pings and clangs of the bullets impacting on the armour slow and come to an end, and infantry makes their way forward. Heaton, for his part, orders the tanks to climb onto the position previously occupied by the German Panzer. Heaton's tank rolls over the hilltop and comes down on the other side, followed by his platoon. He keeps an eye on the periscope, half expecting for the remaining Panzer to attack, but instead, they find nothing. Heaton opens the hatch and takes a look outside. They are totally alone. Tank tracks across the ground show the enemy retreat, heading straight for a road and then disappearing. He gets back inside the tank and orders everyone forward and to follow the road. The American war machines trundle onward, strangely unopposed. Heaton watches cautiously from above, expecting there to be some kind of resistance. Landmines, the surviving Panzer in ambush, a long 88, anything. And yet the fields remain quiet, the sounds of the raging battle left far behind. They continue to push forward for about a mile until they roll around a corner and stumble upon a convoy of 25 German trucks parked on the side of the road. The Germans at the head of the convoy are stunned by the encounter and flee, some firing their handguns at the Shermans. Heaton immediately drops back within his vehicle and orders everyone, fire! The American armour shoots at the parked trucks from point-blank range, turning them into instant scrap and making the Germans across the entire convoy flee in panic. Some of the trucks are full of ammunition, so they explode in spectacular fashion when shot with the Sherman's 75mm high-explosive round. The Americans roll by, laying waste to all the German machines, leaving behind a column of fire and destruction. They then continue on, now knowing that they are definitely behind enemy lines. They drive until a platoon of German soldiers heading for the front in bicycles rounds a turn on the twisty road and find themselves face to face with a convoy of Shermans. Heaton's tank opens fire with the coaxial and whole machine guns, taking out the enemy in a lopsided engagement. Meanwhile, further down the road, the crew of a lone Stug tank destroyer are running some maintenance when they hear the gunshots in the distance. The commander is instantly alarmed, as they're not supposed to be anywhere near the front to be hearing gunshots. He orders his crew to finish up immediately and jump in. The Shermans continue on their way, looking for things to destroy, when suddenly a shot comes from the trees and strikes Heaton's Sherman square in the transmission. Heaton is thrown about inside the turret as his tank screeches to a halt and the convoy behind is forced to stop. Hidden in the trees, the Stug crew reloads the weapon as the Shermans behind Heaton awkwardly maneuver from behind the immobilized tank. The Germans fire at Heaton's tank for a second time. It pierces straight through the hull below the turret, slamming into the engine in the rear and starting a fire. Heaton and his crew rush to escape as smoke fills the cabin. Simultaneously, the two other Shermans flank the now burning machine and aim their guns right at the Stug, who had just revealed its position with that second shot. They fire one after the other, striking down the enemy in the blink of an eye. Heaton helps his wounded crew onto the back of the rearmost Sherman. He then climbs to the hatch and orders to retreat back to Allied lines.
And are you okay? Let's get back to our lines.
At the end of the day, they had driven an incredible 6 miles into enemy territory, taking out a Sturmgeschütz, an enemy platoon, and a supply convoy. The destruction of the supplies would prove to be the most impactful, limiting enemy effectiveness at the front and forcing a retreat. First Lieutenant Frank L Heaton would be awarded the Silver Star for his brave actions and leadership on that day. But tragically, he wouldn't live to receive it, as he was killed in action just 10 days later. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and please watch more videos of ours. Thank you.